All right, so the Eiffel Tower and the Blackpool Tower created by witches that run the Christian church. Now, not all Christians are bad; they don't know about these witches. Okay, so let's look at these witches that created the Blackpool Tower and the Eiffel Tower, Black Magic Group. Okay, so they are the Dark Ages coming into modern times for some reason. All right, so the Blackpool Tower and the Eiffel Tower is referencing an aphrodisiac that they're selling. It's a very, very powerful, if not the most powerful aphrodisiac in the world. That is a secret amongst the pharmacists, and they're selling this, spiking it into, uh, pharmacy products, hair growth products, and then selling this. And then once you take this, just a fraction of it, a small, tiny amount, you will become a girl. Okay, and then right at the top of the Eiffel Tower, there's a bird cage. Okay, that's your the EU. Okay, so and then at that bird cage is basically everyone who's taken that stuff that the pharmacy's been handing out in millions. By the way, they're selling millions of that product every year. They celebrate it. Look at that towers. All right, so at the top is the bird cage. That's the prison system. Inside there's a prison. So they plan to put the whole country in prison, England and France. And that's black magic. And they do have thousands and millions of people in prison. Right, and the people doing this are shaming people based on these towers. And the people shaming them are psychiatry. And they've got 1,000 names for everyone in Britain and America and France. Because they're handing out and selling millions of these medication they call it medication. Horse tower, it's a witch's poison from the hills of Devon. The witches down there. The cauldron is designed around the horse tail. And look at those towers. It's the horse tail, aphrodisiac. When you take it, it turns you into girls, and then they start killing you. Anyone who's doing that in the modern day needs to be shot and imprisoned immediately. And certainly, the psychiatry are doing that. They literally got a business around those towers. What do you think of that? Why are you paying for that? Are you mad? The people selling horsetail spiked into hair growth products is actually psychiatry, and they own Boots, Superdrug, and they are the Eiffel and Blackpool Tower. I mean, it's black magic. And at the top, there's a cage. Right now, in that cage is the loads of incidents of horrendous murders. It's literally psychiatry's organising it all. For instance, the head of psychiatry is the real Jack the Ripper. And he's still sitting there because everyone accepts him. Why? He's black magic, the worst of it that you can imagine. That shouldn't be in the modern times. Okay, so that tower is psychiatry and then all the murders. Ian Huntley murders created by psychiatry again. Jamie Bulger. Bulger. Look at the word there. Bulger. Psychiatry's done that. Okay, now let's look at all the other murders. Southport. They've done that. Psychiatry again. Gay community. They own all the corner shops. They are also psychiatry, telling the British people that they're mad. These cardboard brains, the corner shops, are doing that. When are we going to get rid of them? When are you going to start shaming them? Look at those towers. Look at those murders. They're doing that. It's called a shame murder. You're getting murdered because of something to do with shame. Look at Jack the Ripper murders. Is it something to do with shame? Okay. Currently, the psychiatry has a whole load of people on the internet threatening women, saying that they've done something wrong. We don't even know these women. Psychiatry is sending out lots of people, I would call them like vile terrorists. Like it's the ones you see on the telly. And it's actually been sent in by psychiatry. We have a load of doctors here that are all involved in that. They all need to be in prison for a very long time, right? This psychiatry and gay community, they've killed several people in Blackpool, right? And they've done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all. Black magic has killed them. The gays, there's loads of gays in the prison community. Psychiatry is working with crackheads, paying them with crack to do murders based on something to do with shame. But there is no shame. These guys that are attacking are a gay paedophiles group. They got the most shame. Okay, so um, I was adopted by the head of the hospital. She's called Sylvia Lubinsky, and there is an overweight of African influence inside our hospitals that's then using the hospitals to kill the hosting countries like Britain, France, and America. Sylvia's tired of this, like, so she adopted me, and she made me and Phil, her sons, their new heads of the hospitals, and I'm also called the next Gandhi. All right, so and India has accepted me, and the Gandhi family have accepted me into their family as well several years ago, and they think I'm a good influence for India. All right, so now I'm also the head of the hospitals thanks to Sylvia Lubinsky, and this influence of hate inside our hospitals, I want to tackle. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from, we need to tackle it because it's Ian Huntley. It doesn't matter what colour you are, we're against this guy. Okay, and if he's in our hospitals, we're going to kick him right out. Okay, all right, now anyone involved in this Blackpool Tower and their shame game are going straight to prison for a minimum of 5 years. Like we're talking about small threats. Like we've got a whole load of psychiatrists around us. They're sending in people to attack me, attack me and others in a shame game. Right? We can all establish that. Now, given that, all these people they're sending out, they'll all be getting 5 years apiece now, right? And the psychiatrist sending them, they're getting at least 15 years, all right? And, because we know they killed Charlene Downs. I think they might have called her a prostitute. And now there's no prostitution in Blackpool or in the north, and this is all caused by gay people. All right, they're a gay paedophiles group. They promote gay pedophilia and ban all women activities, especially the young girls. Right? Okay, so anybody is involved in this gay paedophile group, psychiatry, the psychiatrist got minimum 15 years by the head judge of Supreme Court and also dismissed by the head doctor. We know you're involved. We've got hundreds of evidence against you in Blackpool, for instance. Soon you're going to prison, right? And then you'll be extradited to a Russian prison, the Black Dolphin prisons. Okay, where you're not allowed to you're not allowed to stand up outside your cell for the rest of your life. You're going to be bent over, just how you like it. So films like the Eiffel Tower and the Blackpool Tower, the MI5 in Britain are very against them. Okay, right. So they made film. They used to run Hollywood, the MI5, and they made films like King Kong. Okay. Also, Hitchcock is the MI5, and he was very against the Eiffel Tower and what they're doing and who they're targeting. Hitchcock said they were targeting the Irish people in his film Rebecca, and this film is a pinnacle film in the film industry. Full stop. And he's the MI5, and King Kong as well. It's also about the Blackpool Tower, and the film The Wizard of Oz is also about the Blackpool Tower. All right, now and what they're doing. Okay, so this is another fact about the Blackpool Tower. So the further away you get from the Blackpool Tower, the better it gets. That's if you want a good life. You see what the Blackpool Tower is doing. It's so miserable, so desolate, so negative that the further away you get, the better it gets. And this is actually true. I mean, and this is why the Wizard of Oz tells us about Buddhism. right? And that that this is the spiritual city, and that at the city of spiritualism there are guards to the city, and this is guards to protect Dorothy, who's under attack by the Hunchback of Notre Dame. That is also the Eiffel Tower. Alfred Hitchcock is before Second World War, and he's actually modelled on another guy called Jumbo, and he looked just like Jumbo, and he is quite very similar to Jumbo. And Jumbo ran Hollywood. He's actually a king of England and king of France, and he ran Hollywood. And so Hitchcock is playing his part, Jumbo, right? And Jumbo is head of all the militaries, including America. So he was a British American guy. Um, Now Hitchcock, so he made a film. No, it wasn't him. It was yeah. So he had a wife called Betty Jumbo. Jumbo had a wife called Betty, my grandma, and then she became Betty Boo. And Betty was like a model dancer in the real world. And then they made a film about Betty called Whatever Happened to Babyface Jane. That's a film about Bette Davis. Bette Davis is playing my grandma's part, Betty Roberts, who's Jumbo's wife, and then the King of England and the head of Hollywood. And they wrote the film The Wizard of Oz. Jumbo wrote the film Wizard of Oz with Hitchcock, but also with a crew. Actually, they were Hollywood. Nowadays, it's all different. They got it's a long story. We'll talk about it later. But the Whatever Happened to Babyface Jane is actually about the Blackpool Tower and a poisoning that the Christian church is doing to the music world. You see, the Eiffel Tower and the Blackpool Tower are killing music stars too. They are pharmacy. They're using poisons, and people are dying all of a sudden of heart disease, heart attacks, all sorts of blackout kind of effects, using these synthetic poisons that are made in the hospitals. The Blackpool Tower is a reference to the damaging effects of that. These so Babyface Jane is the music world fighting back. They're taking out people from the society and giving them a life of hell that they're trying to give to the music world. You see, Bette Davis absolutely loves Hollywood and the music world. Let's not forget, Hollywood Jumbo brought women onto the stages that made Hollywood very, very lucrative. It boosted their business by over 50%. Before, Hollywood was not having women on stages. It wasn't even called Hollywood. All right, and it made no money at all. So Bette Davis came along and changed all of that. Right, and one of her brilliant films, Whatever Happened to Babyface Jane, is actually an MI5 film, much like Wizard of Oz. It's actually a sister film of Wizard of Oz. Bette Davis is playing Dorothy, and what she does now to counterattack this desperately awful attack by very strange little pygmy type people from a long way away, as you see in the film King Kong, which is also a sister film of The Wizard of Oz. Okay, the film Elephant Man is about the Eiffel Tower. Yes, it is, and it's about psychiatry and how they're attacking Jumbo. Jumbo is from the 1920s. He's the head of the militaries. He is the head of the churches, head of the church, and Jumbo is being attacked by gay paedophiles. They are uh, pharmacy, and they're witches and doctors. The Doctors Association is actually black magic, and they've got COVID out now. It's actually the Eiffel Tower doing that. And the film The Elephant Man is about the Eiffel and Blackpool Tower and how they're selling a poison that targets the elephant, who is Jumbo. Jumbo is named after an elephant. That's the British Army. the American army and the people and civilians in the countries. Don't forget that the Eiffel Tower and Blackpool Tower is a constitute from Africa, African pygmyism brought in by gays. Okay, they run the Christian churches, stole it off Jumbo. So the MI5 are really angry about this, and the army, and they're fucking making a good load of films about this to alert the public of what's really going on. King Kong, whatever happened to Babyface Jane, the Elephant Man. Look how the Elephant Man psychiatry are isolating the majority of the people in England and America using the Eiffel Tower and pharmacy and their poisoning. They're selling horsetail over the counter every day. Millions are being disabled. They don't have a calling system, no complaint system. All they have is psychiatry wards full. All they have, all you have is terrorism that are all been done by witches. So the Elephant Man is actually a true story about the Eiffel and Blackpool Tower, and the Elephant Man is a story of how the councils are running these towers. So the councils own McDonald's. They run the schools. They are Toys R Us. Toys R Us targeting kids, turning them into sex toys like the Eiffel Tower does. Okay, they are Toyota car companies, Toyota, Toy Oral Tar. That's your McDonald's doing that, and your schools are doing that. They're selling the Blackpool Tower. They are the Blackpool Tower. All right, so the Babyface Jane says the music world gets their own back. Bette Davis is representing the whole music world. And these days, we are all the stars of today. Anyone who's interested in music and life and the good life. Anybody's a student or at university. They are being attacked by the Eiffel Tower. So let's have a good look at it. Rewind.